Middle-class families who've been left without a roof over their head are asking why they're being targeted.
The Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka has given us about 4 months' time to clear all this encroachment.
Those areas specifically have to be cleared of those encroachments which cause the flooding.
I agree that there is a problem of water flooding, but that has to be done in a democratic and a systematic legal way. You are behaving like a terrorist.
Karnataka Land Revenue Court is not being invoked. Instead, the Bangalore Municipal Corporation is being brought in, which is not the authority to remove encroachments.
If it is so easy to get and BBMP owns all these maps, they have a website, and what prevents them to put it on the website?
There have been hundreds of structures brought down, but why not single biggest building that's been brought down?
The big fish, the small fish, everybody is caught. We don't want to let anybody go scot-free.
However, why can't the map be made public is my question. Why can't the map be made public?
You're welcome not to believe me.
You are telling about these people are not criminals, but there are criminals called developers and the government officials.
Are you watching The Urban Debate? Only on Magic Bricks Now.
Hello and welcome to the news on Magic Bricks Now. I'm Amata Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. Mega Magic Bricks Now impact. BMC will penalize road contractors if the roads they build develop potholes. We get you exclusive details. Big relief for couples buying jointly owned property. Tax tribunal rules that only the spouse who pays for the property is liable to pay capital gains tax. And Delhi wale can buy their diesel SUVs and drive it, but they will have to pay a 1% green cess. The cess will be applicable on cars over 2000 cc. The Supreme Court has lifted the ban that it had imposed in December 2015 after the city's air quality deteriorated. Straight up to our Mega Magic Bricks Now impact. The BMC will fine contractors if the roads they build develop potholes in Mumbai. What's more, BMC could also revoke contracts given to these companies. This is a part of the new contract that the BMC is working on to ensure pothole-free roads. My colleague Disha Shah gets us this exclusive.
To ensure citizens of Mumbai a good quality of road and a pothole-free road, now the civic body BMC is forced to take measures like enforcing undertaking on the road contractors while giving road construction contracts. Remember, this has not been implemented by the BMC till now, so BMC could take such measures like undertaking from the contractors that the pothole will not occur on the roads in the future. Remember, Magic Bricks Now has been consistently reporting about how the civic body is reworking on the entire tendering process and bringing in stringent norms with regards to the contractors. Secondly, of course, this is one of the biggest change, but secondly, what the civic body is trying to implement is that if any contractor uses substandard material while repairing potholes or while reworking on the potholes, then BMC could take stringent measures like terminating the contract of the contractor on an immediate basis. Right now, what happens in the BMC that a contractor is liable to stay with the BMC for 5 years. So this won't be the case anymore if this policy gets implemented, because year over year BMC wants to make contractors liable for the pothole in the city of Mumbai. And lastly, what we learned from the civic officials is also that a heavy penalty will also be imposed on the contractor apart from the termination. And lastly, what we also learned from the civic officials is that now the workers will have to work round the clock on double shifts to ensure that whenever a citizen complains with regards to the bad roads or potholes, then the BMC will have to attend that within an hour and not within 24 to 48 hours, which happens currently. So with this, BMC wants to ensure that Mumbai gets a pothole-free ride every monsoon. And lastly, like we told you earlier here at Magic Bricks Now, that the draft is almost ready and will be published by next week.
A ray of hope there, not just for citizens of Mumbai, but also Noida home buyers stuck with project delays. The Supreme Court has directed Unitech to refund money to buyers stuck with Noida housing project Burgundy at Sector 96 Noida. In fact, the Apex Court has also sought list of buyers who want refund by the 17th of this month. Meanwhile, Unitech representatives have told the Supreme Court that it does not have money to refund buyers. The project in question, Unitech's Burgundy, is a residential housing project which was launched by Unitech in its Unitech Golf and Country Club Township in 2010. Talking about project delays, the Mumbai police is now getting stricter with builders. Renowned Mumbai builder Lok Housing and Construction got arrested yesterday on not handing over a flat for which they had taken full payment. My colleague Swesha Sawant gets us more details.
The Thane police yesterday arrested a prominent builder in a case of cheating. 34-year-old Vishakha More, who had booked a flat with Lok Housing and Construction in their project Lok Nagari in Ambernath East, had booked this flat in June 2014 and she was promised possession by December 31st, 2014. But in spite of having paid the entire amount of 19,38,000, she was not given possession of her flat, which is when day before yesterday, that is 10th of August, she went and lodged FIR with the Thane police, and yesterday two directors of the company, Darshan Gandhi and Natwarlal Banka, were arrested. The remaining two, Sumit Prasad Agarwal and Sanjay Shete, are absconding. To take you through the project, it was launched in 2012. It's a huge township which will have about 80 buildings and 1,000 flats. It is in Ambernath East, and it will have homes and configurations of 1 and 2 BHKs.
Moving on to the national capital now, another blow to fight for clean air. The 7-month-long ban on big diesel cars in Delhi has come to an end. The Supreme Court today withdrew the ban on registration of cars of above 2,000 cc that it had imposed in December last year after a surge in the pollution levels in the national capital region. But it's not a full free hand for car makers. There is an additional green cess that will be imposed on big diesel cars to compensate for environmental damage. Arun Nail gets us more details from New Delhi.
Big relief coming in for automakers as the Supreme Court has lifted the ban it has imposed on the registration of over 2,000 cc diesel vehicles in the national capital region. The court has said that the companies manufacturing vehicles over 2,000 cc can register their vehicles in the national capital region provided they pay 1% of their ex-showroom price value of their vehicles. With the Central Pollution Control Board, they can go ahead and register their vehicles in the national capital region. Remember, it is an interim measure because the companies had challenged the court power to impose such a levy. They said that it is the function of the legislature to impose such a levy and court cannot impose an environmental compensation charge on them. Now, this issue, apart from the issue put forward by the petitioner in which it had said that the compensation charge, environmental compensation charge on diesel vehicles should be to the tune of 20%, and it should be extended to all types of diesel vehicles over 2,000 cc and less than 2,000 cc as well. Now, those issues are pending before the Supreme Court, on which it is going to be deciding later. But for the meantime, after 8 months, it had imposed a ban on registration of 2,000 cc diesel vehicles. It has finally vacated that ban and has allowed them to register their vehicles in the national capital region. It's a big relief for all the automakers.
Joining us on the phone line to give us more perspective on this matter is Anumita Roy Chowdhury, ED Research and Advocacy, CSC. Anumita, thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks Now. Tell us, first of all, is levying a 1% cess going to clean up our air?
Not at all. And in fact, this 1% is cosmetic, and it has no deterrent value to curb use of low-tax diesel in luxury cars. So what we really need today is an effective environment compensation charge that will help to equalize the fuel tax that both petrol car and diesel car owners pay. Now, what is important about the Supreme Court order today is the fact that it has established the principle that diesel cars are more polluting, and therefore they need to pay an environment compensation charge. But we will certainly urge the Supreme Court to listen to the application which the Americans has given to the court already, which has shown very clearly that the lifetime fuel tax that the diesel cars pay and that the petrol cars pay, that if we have to equalize that, then the environment compensation charge should be at least 20 to 30% of the diesel car price. Now, this is very important for us to take into account because the public health challenge is enormous around diesel car emissions.
All right. Also tell us how big of a blow is this and what kind of an impact will this have on our environment?
This will have to be understood from the public health perspective. Because what is very important for us to understand is that diesel emissions are extremely toxic. So by removing diesel emissions, what you are really protecting is public health. Diesel cars, the emissions are treated as class 1 carcinogen by the WHO. And this is something that we really need to understand, that if you have diesel emissions, then it is going to have caused cancer in the city and it will have to be controlled.
Also tell us, do you think that lifting the ban will actually end up with us losing the few gains that we've made in the battle for clean air?
In any case, right from the beginning, the Supreme Court was very clear that ban is temporary and ban will stay only till that time when the environment compensation charge will be worked out for the diesel cars. So what we are really looking for is not ban, but a very effective fiscal deterrent that will discourage the car buyers from using diesel cars. And more important, it should also see the change in product portfolio of the manufacturers, so that the mass shift that we have seen in the market towards diesel cars in the recent years, that should be reversed. And we are already seeing the signs of that change, and that will have to be supported and scaled up.
All right, Anumita, thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks. Now, moving on now, relief for all those couples who jointly own property. The Income Tax Appellate Tribunal in Mumbai on Wednesday ruled that in a property co-owned by spouses, only the spouse who has invested in the property needs to pay capital gains tax. Now, up until now, both the husband and wife had to pay capital gains tax. This ruling came in the case of a medical professional, Vandana Bulchandani. An income tax officer noted that she had not disclosed the capital gains arising from the sale of a 2.12 crore rupee property in Parel that she jointly held with her husband, according to her income tax returns. Now, despite having informed the IT officer that her husband had made the entire investment, the officer claimed that the entire arrangement was done to avoid tax payment. However, the ITAT observed that since the husband brought the property and the purchase and consecutive sale was reflected in his account books and IT returns, Bulchandani did not have to pay any capital gains tax on the property. In order to get better perspective on this matter, we caught up with Sameer Kanabar, partner tax and regulatory services at EY, and asked him what exactly this verdict means for home buyers.
I believe this is a fair ruling. It is on the principles of equity and justice, and on that basis I believe that this ruling should be applicable to most of the taxpayers, and obviously even if it is challenged, I believe the view held by the income tax tribunal would be likely even accepted by the higher courts as well. When you buy a property, you have to do 1% TDS. Now again the question always arises that whether if you are co-owners, then whether both of them, the co-owners or all the co-owners, have to withhold 1% tax, or only the main person who is investing has to withhold 1% tax. So I believe based on this ruling there is also a reasonable clarity that if the investor is taxable for the purpose of capital gains and not the co-owner who has not invested, then on the same principles, even the investor who is investing in a home property will be required to deduct 1% tax, and not the co-owner who has not invested but is just for the namesake.
Moving on, after the crucial GST bill was passed unanimously in both the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, Assam became the first state to pass the Goods and Services Tax Constitutional Amendment Bill in its constituency on Friday. Now, opposition parties such as Congress and All India United Democratic Front also supported the passage of this bill. The opposition had earlier sought a discussion in the assembly to assess the impact of GST on the state, but they were turned down by the speaker. Now, the passage of GST is expected to send a positive signal to the assembly. Remember, Assam is also the first BJP-ruled state in India to approve the GST amendment bill. More BJP states are expected to follow. Great news that, but Mumbaikars would do well to remember that this monsoon you will still be navigating through potholed roads. And while Mumbaikars suffer, citizens of other districts of Maharashtra are not better off. In fact, while citizens have been struggling with civic apathy, are buckling under natural disasters like floods, taking their own lives over crop failures, and when multiple scams are under investigation, Maharashtra's ministers, MLAs and MLCs have given themselves a 250% hike. Here is a special report.
Waterlogged roads in cities, potholes and bridge collapse. While you suffer at the hands of civic apathy, these babus are filling their pockets. With Chief Minister's backing, Maharashtra MLAs get 100% pay hike.
मग जर त्यांनी चांगलं आणि प्रामाणिक काम केलं पाहिजे अशी अपेक्षा असेल तर त्याची ही काळजी देखील आपण घेतली पाहिजे की प्रामाणिक काम करण्याची म्हणजे त्याची जी काही क्षमता आहे ती क्षमता आपण कायम ठेवली पाहिजे. आणि म्हणून आजही म्हणजे आता ही जी काही पगारवाढ आपण केली आहे दिल्लीपेक्षा, आंध्रपेक्षा, तेलंगणापेक्षा सगळ्यांपेक्षा अजूनही ती कमी आहे.
आणि इतर राज्यापेक्षा आजही महाराष्ट्रातल्या आमदारांना जो आत्ताच्या निर्णयानं वाढणार आहे ते सुद्धा कमी आहे. म्हणजे या गोष्टी सुद्धा आपण थोड्याशा वास्तविक मांडाव्या.
As expected, the opposition backed the government completely on the issue of a hefty pay hike, going ahead and defending themselves by saying that the Maharashtra legislators were perhaps the lowest paid in the country. But the big question is, will this translate into a higher and increased accountability on the part of our netas? Going by the precedents and our experience, it seems like wishful thinking as of now.
The hike that comes after 6 years will benefit over 325 members, putting MLAs and the Chief Minister on the same level as bureaucrats.
The idea behind this is I am saying that it was in the year of 2010 that it was pending, and it looks just now that it is manifold, but practically it is not. It was just around 29,000 something approximation, and then now it is 75,000. So now the areas that has been coming, that is coming up to that certain lakhs of rupees which has been alleged.
Same applies to the public MLAs and ministers, and that is why with the due consideration and lot of discussions among the group of MLAs and group of legislative assembly, they have arrived at these consensus.
Maharashtra is currently reeling under a debt that goes up to rupees 3 lakh crore, the highest debt among all Indian states.
With no clear-cut justification for the salary hike, the Aam Aadmi still has to suffer due to bad roads and old bridges. What is interesting to note is that not just the government but also the opposition has been united in the issue, who are usually on the opposite sides of the political spectrum. Along with video journalist Amrish Lad in Mumbai, this is Herman Gomes.
Moving on now, we bring you the story of a man who took on a developer in the NCR and managed to recover his entire investment within 9 months. His weapon, the Right to Information Act. Suesha Sawant caught up with him and she gets us this report.
Nitesh Duhan, 34, successful, a consultant with an MNC, decided to cash in on the real estate boom in the NCR. Duhan booked his first home in Era Landmark on Dwarka Expressway in 2012 and was promised possession in 2017. However, when he visited the site 3.5 years later, he saw that the developer had not even started work on the foundation. That's when he decided to exit and get out with his money.
I went to district police to register a FIR for cheating against the builder. But police did not register FIR. I gave my complaint, I approached them couple of times, but neither they gave me any status back, nor they registered my FIR.
Duhan also approached the civic body. He made repeated trips to the Town and Country Planning Department, where officials took his application but refused to give him a receipt. When nothing worked, he decided to study the system and use it to his benefit.
I found out that there have been not only one or two but multiple irregularities which have been committed by the builder. The money was collected without seeking license, EDC, external development charges, which was collected from the buyer but which was not deposited with the government.
That's when he decided to use right to information against the builder. Duhan sent off RTI requests to every government department, including the DGP, Town and Country Planning Department. He also raised RTI queries with the State Bank of India, which lent to the project. Chief Justice of Supreme Court for registering an FIR, SEBI on how the builder is running unauthorized collective investment schemes, jail authorities on arresting the builder, and the district police on why they were taking no action.
All these complaints, they were creating pressure on the builder. So this is how I got my money back.
Duhan suggests that this is possibly the quickest way to get your money back from the developer. But he cautions it is a lone battle and more effective that way. So what's Duhan's secret formula? Track the multiple government departments that give approvals to the builder and seek information on the project. Here's a checklist you can follow. These include Department of Town and Country Planning, Fire Department, State Environment Impact Assessment Authority or the SEIAA, Land Revenue Department, Pollution Control Board, etc. This will not only push the government to answer you and pressurize the builder, but it will also help you gather evidence through RTI for criminal and consumer court, which will make the case stronger. This is Suesha Sawant for Magic Bricks Now.
Keeping with real estate, technology in real estate will no longer be limited to searching for homes online. A clutch of to-be-launched mobile applications are going all out to redefine the experience of buying and living in a home. Take a look.
Virtual reality home tours are past. Soon you will be able to 3D print your home. And you could do this with an application you can download on your mobile phone. This and a clutch of other groundbreaking apps featured at a recent meet organized by Publicis India, Publicis Drugstore and Zone Startups in Mumbai. From customer profiling to an Uber experience for home buying, expect to be hit by a deluge of mobile applications as real estate gets into its Tech 2.0 avatar.
I want to be absolutely sure of where I'm putting my money. So some of these technologies we saw today makes life easier, makes life convenient, makes life comfortable, and all at the power of a mobile phone. Pineart, which is a smart home app that lets you control everything from your geyser to your light bulbs, and you don't need any more investment in technology. It's like buying a Wi-Fi router and an app download and you're good to go.
How can I shorten the time span that the consumer takes to make a decision? How do I help maybe consumers connect with each other and buy homes in a social manner? So if we question the entire value chain at this point, I believe there are chinks that can be disrupted, and that's what the attempt is.
And obviously home automation has got to be the next big thing.
As a consumer, where I think it would be really beneficial for you would be to track power consumption. So in a lot of times you don't know where your bill has come up to, how has it come up to so much amount, whatever it is. And then you can probably track appliance wise where you spent most money into, which device was used most. And also our device also help you predict when probably your devices might fail. So it's kind of an insurance for your appliances at the cost of giving you comfort and ease.
Most of these applications and tools are ready to be rolled out to get you tech-enhanced homes. You can either get them from your developer or you can set it up yourself. With Ruchi Deshpande, this is Amita Balachandra for Magic Bricks Now.
Let's also catch a glimpse of what's trending in the world of interiors. Aditi Singh caught up with the editor-in-chief of Good Homes, where they discuss about the global fusion of ethnic with contemporary style.
We all know that Good Homes is a go-to home decor magazine for all those looking for great interior ideas and the latest trends. So I thought of giving you a sneak peek into the next story of Good Homes, which is being currently shot. So you know what to expect in the next issue. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Essence of the feature is how Indian style and Indian design has gone global.
Yeah.
We've got a setup here where you see the lines of the couch.
Yeah.
Very clean, very contemporary, very international. It could be anywhere in the world, right? But we've accented it with very Indian prints design. I mean, fabrics. Yeah. This is our favorite ikat. You've got a little bit of Suzani happening. You can tell that this is very, very traditionally handcrafted, hand-woven fabric as well. If you look at the style, if you look at the elements and the accessories that have gone into it, all of it is very, very, very ethnic. I mean, even the accents, we've got dark colors, we've got light colors, we've got pattern, we've got embroidery, we've got a lot of dialogue happening in the accessory. It's a one calls a dhari, but we've used it like a pichwai. If you feel it, you will see that it's very jutish. So foyers, reading corners, library corners, a den where you've got warmth happening. So you have this, which is tie and dye. Okay, I love tie and dye. A lot of Indian women enjoy it as well. It's a great style for clothes, table linen, tableware, bed linen today. Again, in tie and dye is very in. So we've got tie and dye happening. We've got a little bit of this Suzani embroidery. Again, it's a very popular style. I love it because it's colorful, it's happy. You can use it for neutrals. So there's this. This is very, Kashmiri meets global again because as a motif, it's very, very popular. I'm so glad that you could come today and, be part of this.
Definitely anything for beautiful designs and great ideas. And that was the agenda. Thank you, Ronita, for spending time with us.
Thank you.
With that, we've completely run out of time here on the news on Magic Bricks Now. Thank you for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magic Bricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.